According to some chronicles, the Aztecs called the Huachichiles that way because they painted their heads red, resembling a bird that they knew as Guachichil, Guachichil, or Huachichil. But why did this tribe from Arido America use the color to paint themselves? A legend tells that originally the Huachichiles traveled throughout the desert to establish territorial means, to know the flora and fauna, know where there were water holes and rock shelters, where to take refuge, locate other tribes, friends, or enemies. During their first expeditions, while they discovered the plants and animals that would be part of their basic diet, they became expert hunters with bows and arrow as their main weapon. They also noticed that they were followed by some birds with red heads, which sang beautifully. Without knowing what they were or understanding the message of their trills, they thought they would be good for food. They tried to hunt them over and over to no avail. It was inexplicable to them why they could hunt any other bird but not these red-headed birds. No arrow was able to pierce them. When they had delimited their territories and had the necessary sustenance, they discovered peyote and began to look at other things such as the sky, the stars, and the moon, as well as understanding some natural phenomena such as thunder, rain, cold, and eclipses. They took a special interest in supernatural phenomena such as death, the spirit, dreams, disembodied souls, and learned to interpret sounds, the wind, the weather, and the behavior of animals. That was how finally they understood that the red-headed bird was the guardian of their tribe, the guardian spirit. From this vital discovery for their spiritual development, they decided to imitate the bird by painting their heads red and emulating the sound of his song. They never tried to hunt him down again. In Santa Ana, the municipality of Tula, Tamaulipas, where indigenous families still survive, the elderly remember that their grandparents told them that the last pure-blooded Huachichil, a man who grew old without having never converted to the Christian faith. Huachichiles and the locals were related. Just before he died, a flock of red-headed birds, an unknown species in that region, flew around the dying man, to later perch next to his deathbed. At the moment of expiration, one of these birds put its beak in the old man's mouth as if giving him a goodbye kiss and flew away, followed by his companions. They believe that this is how they took the spirit of the last Huachichil to give it life elsewhere in another time. The spirit of peyote. A set of brothers cut up peyote into segments and ate it. After a while, they had so much vitality that they walked for hours and hours under the scorching sun, without feeling hot or faint. By late afternoon, they did not feel tired or hungry or thirsty. They would have kept walking if it had not been for the last ray of sun. Before them appeared a spirit that radiated light. They were not afraid, but they were cautious. They watched the spirit, who spoke to them in a language that was at first incomprehensible. He lit a fire just by running his hands and began to dance around the fire, while he said words in that unknown language. Unintentionally guided by the charm, the three brothers imitated the spirit. They danced around the fire and repeated the words over and over until they learned them. When dawn broke, the brothers walked back to their village, where they were greeted with joy. They explained to their people that a protective spirit had revealed itself to them in order to give them great teachings. To prove it, they fed everyone peyote segments, which they had gathered on the way, and immediately lit a fire. Afterwards, they danced around the fire, saying the magic words. With amazement, as dark clouds formed in the sky, a long-awaited rain fell. From then on, those brothers became the shamans of their town. Whenever a problem arose, they ate peyote segments and talked to the great benevolent spirit so that he would show them the way forward.